asked for this. Just to be clear, when your company is succeeding, what you're asking for are lots of problems.
Yeah.
Because you'll reveal all company weaknesses, and that's what real business looks like.
Yeah.
So sometimes, and you're not doing this, but sometimes people start lamenting over the heavy lifts and how hard and who thought that this would happen. It's like you did.
Yeah.
If you want to win, if you want $1 billion company, buckle up.
Yeah.
You will create your own problems as you create success. And your ability to first create success and then create the solution to the problems that come from success is winning in business. So this is where I get excited, because I'm like, this is what we wanted. This is what we're freaking praying for. We want these problems.
Yeah, we're not trying to run from them. And we've had that mentality with it. We're very grateful. I came in like so ecstatic to see the amount of problems that we've had and the amount of success. I'm like,
good job,
oh my
Josh.
gosh. I'm like, the problems are there, but the success is also there. And just seeing the unity, like how unified everyone is amazing, Kris.
Do you know what it looks like to partner in real estate with me? Check it out. I've got people all over the world that watch me on social, and they realize, wait a second, Kris, I've got money sitting in 401ks, IRAs, equity in my home that is doing nothing. As in, it's earning single-digit ROIs, and it's not gonna compound meaningfully to give me the retirement that I want, because at the age of 65, the average person has $255,000 in retirement. It's not a ton. But partnering with me means putting that money into real estate and letting money perform for you in incredible ways. If you want to access double-digit returns in real estate and yet not have to do any of the work, leave it up to me and my team. Click the link below, learn about partnering. Let me show you my track record on my last $2 billion worth of deals.
You need to understand the nature of the beast of your industry. Any organization that has a lot of young, punk, energy, jocks crushing it, making crazy, bigger check numbers than ops, you're always going to get friction in a culture from sales to ops and fulfillment. So this is natural. This isn't elite. This is all companies. That's the first thing to really just become aware of. And I see that in a number of my companies, and I've seen it play out super unhealthy. And so you have two options. You either go for the Band-Aid, or you do surgery.
That's kind of what we're feeling, is we've been doing a lot of Band-Aids.
Here's what the Band-Aid is. Address the problem. Address the board. Address the lack of transparency. Those are Band-Aids. Surgery, however, requires a different permanent solution. And it's actually starting 50,000 feet in the air where we are in this plane right now. And instead of being on Earth, 10 feet above the ground, trying to fix an issue with personnel, what's really broken is what?
It's the system and the corporate vision that we have.
It is the culture. By the way, on the sales side, is the culture strong?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Your opinion.
It's
Your opinion.
fading in some areas. But
Yes. But let me ask you, is it more strong or less strong amongst ops?
Way.
What?
It's extremely strong. Like
Culture is stronger with ops.
Oh, with ops, no.
No, with ops it's less, right? So by the way, ops in general, do you think they make less money than salespeople?
Yes.
Do they get less culture than the salespeople? Do they get less investment of energy than the salespeople? By nature, the answer is yes to all three of these.
Right.
That's the nature of the beast. Your solution is building a culture that is shared company-wide, where ops is as invested as the sales team, where they are just as recognized, heard, and appreciated, because guess what? They don't have recognition programs.
They're not just not getting heard. The reps are even having this problem of being heard.
Yes.
It's like they're not being heard and recognized and congratulated, but on top of that, it's being like, this is the problem. It's the problem. And it's understandable if you look at from my perspective, looking at everyone's side, I understand why people are doing certain things.
Yeah.
But you're right, they're not being heard.
Yeah, and so the solution is actually creating a single company with a single culture, but also understanding that the divisions are going to be managed differently. You can't manage them the same. You can't throw big cash incentives or bonuses like at a salesperson at ops. That doesn't make sense. And yet they still have to be part of the same culture where they need to be awarded, they have to be recognized, and they have to be appreciated, and they have to be heard. This happens on both sides. So to solve what is really a systemic problem, you have to pause and say, wait a second, what is the culture for the whole company? What is our credo? What do we believe in? What do we tolerate? What do we not? That's a big part. Who are we? Who are we not? And how does that apply to both sides of the fence? So in my company, I've got 50 salespeople, and some of them make ludicrous amounts of money, just like you guys have. And you have the majority of the sales team that are trying to learn how to make ludicrous amounts of money. But all ops sees is that the money goes to them, the appreciation and recognition goes to them, and that they're unseen, unheard, and unimportant. And yet they know that if they weren't there to do their job, sales wouldn't even exist.
Yeah.
So you have to find a way. Your challenge is to build a culture where everyone feels one, even though they're treated different, and even though their compensation is different. These people are commission, these people are salary plus bonus, and it's going to come down to culture committee pulling everyone together. It's going to come down to how you create recognition opportunity on both sides and letting both sides appreciate each other. It's tearing the walls down between the two where they can connect appropriately in the right ways. And I'm just going to tell you right now, someone that is $50,000 a year, that is receiving free movie tickets and gets brought up in front of the room and gets acknowledged for being employee of the month, those kind of things, they are their version of someone else getting a huge commission and being recognized as the winner of the week or the month or the quarter.
You do an amazing job with this. I've noticed it in events. Take notes on that.
So whoever is going to ultimately lead as the CEO of both sides, sales has its own version of a division manager. And on ops, you have a few managers. Someone who's ops over this, ops over this, ops over that. But the CEO's over both. And it's going to be the CEO's job to create that unity and appreciation on both sides. Now, let me give you a deep dive on a way that works in my company. Can I share that?
Please.
Okay. We're getting into the how, which is a little messy because if you focus on the how, you'll lose sight of backing up and actually designing the why.
Right.
So know that assume you need to have that in place. And I'll give you just a little of our why. Our company culture has things, for example, like no drama, which is defined by no passive aggressive behavior. Like passive aggressive deserves a warning, and 2 warnings, your job is at risk. Like this is a serious offense. We are a work hard, play harder culture. A work hard, play harder culture. And at the root, there's no drama, and in its place, what we are is a culture of breakthrough. And breakthrough means that our personal successes are just as important as our professional successes. So we're all here for growth across the board. Now watch what that means. You may have growth-minded warriors for sales, and you might have non-growth-minded people in ops. You might have the wrong people.
So my concern is having those key positions. The humility is so essential.
So I'm going to say it a second time because this is so important. If you create the culture and how you're going to implement that culture, they work themselves out. Now, here's why. Can you punish someone for something they don't understand or something they didn't agree to? For just a moment, imagine, Josh, you're married. Imagine the times in your marriage when you've held Aubrey accountable for something she never agreed to. How fair is it?
Not fair at all.
It's not fair at all, right? And so, by the way, when I hire someone, there's 3 things that they have to see before they even get an interview. Job description is usually all that a company puts out. A job description of here's what you'll do and here's the pay that's available. But that's an email. The second thing that they have to see published is specifically what are their daily drivers or their tasks and their weekly KPIs that they're expected to produce. They have to see that before the first interview, because from day one they need to be told, here's a job description which uses adjectives to describe what you're going to do. Now, here are the critical drivers and KPIs to describe the numbers. You will not be judged on adjectives. You will be judged on numbers. You will be judged on data. If you don't, and the third thing, just for fun, is the mission and purpose of the company, the heart.
Yeah.
Now, when we put that out there and we attract someone from interview number 1, an expectation is being set. And the expectation that's being set is, here's the adjectives, here's the metrics, and here's the mission. And you have to be a yes on all three or you don't get hired. From day one, they understand everything. They go through several interviews, they get hired. 2 weeks into the company, 2 years into the company, we're not gonna have an oops of, I didn't understand. In fact, we're judging them based on the metrics from day one, and then the first 30 days on the sales team, half the people often don't survive, but at least they knew coming in exactly what they were signing up for. Right now, as you work on the culture, you're about to create expectations that nobody has agreed to. You're about to establish a culture that nobody has agreed to, which means you have to know what it is, how you're gonna do it, and then you have to create an onboarding sequence to educate everyone on the corner. And then you can hold them responsible. If you elevate something that's important to urgent when it's not, you will make the wrong move. This is important. It's not urgent.
Right.
Here's what is urgent. Figure out what you want.
That was amazing.
Wait and wait until forever.